Continuing now with our top story, reaction to our interview with Donald Trump. Joining us now from Washington, Washington Post reporter Aaron Blake, along with B Stoddard, associate editor at Real Clear Politics. AB, I'll start with you. What are the things that jumped out? I wanted to ask him about what about the deportation issue, about non-criminals, and he clarified his stance. He said, well, we're going to wait. We're going to secure the border and then wait and see what we have here.
Right. That's really the difference, I think, in what everyone believed was Trump's immigration policy and what he articulated last night. He's going to get rid of the criminals first. That's basically what the Obama administration has been doing. And he is not going to send people who are here, who entered the country illegally, home by deportation. And that's the big difference. That is a backtrack from a policy that made many Republicans, especially up in Senate seats in states Obama won twice, quite nervous. It's a radical plan that would cost a lot of money.
So Amy, do you like this now?
Pass Congress.
Do you like this new immigration plan then?
Well, I'm not here to I assess politics and I'm not weighing in on any policies. I'm saying that what Trump did last night, even with the wrapped in tough talk, was really actually shift his policy to something more palatable to voters he's trying to bring home in the Republican Party who have been resistant to him, particularly Republican women.
Okay, what do you think, Aaron? What did you hear? What did you take out of that interview?
Well, I think what happened here is Donald Trump over the last couple of weeks was considering his immigration position. He certainly backed off of some of the more over-the-top rhetoric that his opponents have accused him of using in recent weeks. He left open the idea of what he would do with mass deportation. He even kind of seemed to say he might soften when it comes to a path to legal status, or at least not deporting illegal immigrants. In the end, it's almost like he decided, after all the media was talking about him softening and backing off of his position and flip-flopping, he just decided, you know what, I'm going to stick with what I'm doing. And so the speech that he gave last night was very much in keeping with the kind of tone he's had on this issue for a very long time. Like AB said, though, the one key difference was he left open what he would do with non-criminal undocumented immigrants. He basically said, we're going to deal with that once we have the border secure, which is a position that, by the way, much of the Republican Party has embraced in recent years as they've tried to push off the idea of comprehensive immigration reform.
Sure. Okay, and the other big issue that he starts every immigration speech with this: what are we going to do? We're going to build a wall. And he clarified that again. We are going to build a wall, and gave a couple of ideas, AB, on how Mexico will pay for it. Do you believe him? Do you buy it?
Well, again, there are going to be many factors that interfere with a plan to build the wall should he become president. But the fact that he's actually trying to provide detailed proposals of how Mexico could ultimately, in direct or indirect ways, fund the wall is much more helpful than just saying for the last year that they're going to pay for it. I think it's smart politics for him to be specific as he heads into the last 60 days of the election on a big signature issue. Where, of course, Hillary Clinton in the debate would say, how are they going to pay, how's he going to pay for it? And I think it's smart for him to be specific.
Okay. And Aaron, one of the other things he's been talking about, part of his 10-point plan, was the illegals who jump their visas, the ones who overstay their visas. He wants a force that aggressively goes after that and fixes that, ties that knot up. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is something that Republicans have been pushing for a while. They want basically to track the visa overstays by matching arrival records with departure records. This is something that costs money and that Congress is going to have to be made to approve. They've looked at it before and it hasn't passed muster. But among the many things that he is proposing and proposed last night, I think this is probably one of the more palatable ideas that Congress could eventually deal with.
All right, very quickly, I'm about 30 seconds. So your thoughts on the Peña Nieto? I asked him about that. Can you work with them? He was very, very pro-Mexico. AB, you're first on that.
Well, it's been interesting. I mean, I thought they got along famously when they were together, but they've been fighting on Twitter ever since. So, look, I think it was good for Donald Trump to take a high-risk trip to Mexico. He handled himself well. He didn't want to confront the president on the payment for the wall, and I think he's, trying to remain diplomatic and plausible as a president to voters who are on the fence about it.
Very good. Aaron, final thought?
Yeah, I think the wall issue is kind of cast a little bit of a shadow over the whole thing, and I think that's the evidence of things to come, is that Trump has said a lot of things in this campaign, and sometimes those things are going to come, back to bite him to some degree when he's trying to look presidential and trying to move past some of that old rhetoric.
All right, got to leave it right there. AB and Aaron, thank you very much. Up next, the far left ripping Donald Trump's immigration plan as not serious.